It's Senyo Hosi. Senyo, so that's where we are. Final deadline. Finance Minister is hopeful that tomorrow everybody else will sign on because he says the economy, our economic future relies on this. Your reaction to all that?
Like I have always maintained, I don't object to the entire need or principle of a DD. Our only objection is the inclusion of individuals and households in this entire mix. So that also includes collective investment schemes. That we do not support because that will be counterproductive to the recovery of the economy. It will help Ken solve one problem, but create for generations yet unborn even a bigger problem. And more importantly, while this is a relevant feature in the solution, it's not the only feature. The bigger elephant in the room that I think the minister has not really addressed well enough is the fiscal readjustments that he himself alluded to.
You know, I'm getting fatigued about that because clearly they're not going to do anything about it.
So how can you be crying more than the bereaved?
You know,
then when it happens like
everybody had told them.
You can only suggest this honesty in the representation that we are in a crisis and we are likely going to crash. How come is that the government itself is not scared about the situation that we are in? Because if you're really that scared about it, I think that you'll be leading the way, giving the right example. But I'm not seeing that. Maybe they have a different strategy. I don't find this strategy optimal. I don't find it responsible. But I must commend the minister, like I did in the morning. He still managed to get very critical institutions to commit. I think tomorrow a good number of the banks will. And as all of them do, they lighter the burden on the minister and then the ability to service the individual bondholders who will not be subjecting themselves to the process would be. It will be more functional for us to actually get paid. So we are all hopeful that the minister gets successful. But I think that if government does not leverage this crisis to really reform its modus operandi, its way of doing things, especially on the fiscal side, we're going to have to return to another DD in a few years to come. A few years. That could be just 3 years actually from now. We've seen that happen in Jamaica. And that's why it is very important there's a proper reform. We are missing an opportunity because of political expediency. We're actually nurturing and fostering deeper challenges for us as an economy with this approach to solving it. I don't disagree that we'll have some level of DD, some restructuring can help. But more importantly, government itself must show the way. I told you, I asked you the last time in the studio with your cameraman and everyone whether they would be increasing their expenditure when they are broke.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
That is government.
But that's what the government is doing. So it really begs the question as to whether we really are in a crisis as he said.
And today there was a town hall. I'm going to be relaying some of the town hall questions so for the people who are watching who didn't participate, who are also affected. So we can address it the same way it was addressed for them, because I think at this moment there are many people who are still wondering what should they do, and a lot of those questions were answered on the. I'll relay a lot of the questions for you to answer.